Matt Le Tissier, an underrated legend, superstar analyst, and a full-time conspiracy theorist. Now, when speaking about one-man club legends, you think of Gary Neville, Paul Scholes, Maldini, Totti. Those are the names that comes up. But the name that will come last in the list, and it's a great player, an underrated player, it is Matt Le Tissier. He spent his whole career at mid-table club Southampton. Now that's significant because he was a brilliant, gifted, talented, almost iconic footballer who didn't follow the normal career path of a player who becomes good and then moves on to one of the top clubs for more money. No, Le Tissier stayed loyal to the club that scouted him and nurtured him, and that's where he retired. Le Tissier chose personal happiness, family security and comfortability over chasing trophies and money. Whether that is a good thing or not, should a player want to challenge himself, move to a bigger club, or should a player choose personal happiness to enjoy his life and just play football every weekend? That's up to anyone else to decide. But let's take a review of his career to see how good he really was, and would he have been remembered more of a footballing legend had he moved to a bigger club. Now, Le Tissier was born in Guernsey, so that's his hometown, not Southampton. So there's no such thing like, oh, Southampton is his hometown, that's why he stayed. But Southampton were the first team to give him an opportunity as an 18-year-old footballer. In his first season, Le Tissier would play 24 games, scoring 6 goals. So you can already see there's a talent that he possesses. In his second season, he played 19 games but scored no goals. In his third season, he would score 9 goals in 28 games. However, it was in his fourth season with the club as a 22-year-old, Le Tissier played in 35 games and scored a stupendous amount, 20 goals from midfield, and led Southampton to 7th in the league. And this was what's important to note for Le Tissier, is that he was an attacking midfielder, not a striker. So to score 20 goals from midfielder, especially back in the days before Lampard, before Totti, is amazing. So for his exploits, he would win the PFA Young Player of the Year. So now, naturally, that's when the big teams came after him, because it was after this season Tottenham would try to sign him, the first time a big club tried to sign him. But it was rejected. And even though Le Tissier supported Tottenham as a young boy, he stayed loyal to his team, Southampton. Then Le Tissier would continue to score on average 20 goals a season, including his highest goal tally in 1994, where he scored 25 league goals. To put that into perspective, strikers nowadays can hardly reach 25 league goals, but Le Tissier did that constantly, or he did it once, and he constantly scored 20 goals a season. So as such, a player of his caliber, you would think he's trying to win league titles and cups and try to get more money. But the bulk of his career, especially during his peak, was spent trying to keep Southampton out the relegation zone and in the Premier League, including 5 seasons where they were in a relegation battle. But Le Tissier's goals would help them stay in the league for another season. But yet Southampton wouldn't back him, wouldn't build around him and give him a team to compete with. So in August 1995, Chelsea bid 10 million for the 27-year-old midfielder, which at that time would have been a British transfer record for a player. Well, once again, Le Tissier would opt to stay with Southampton, staying loyal, and there he would spend the rest of his career. He would retire at the age of 34, scoring 161 goals in 443 games. He was the 6th player and the first midfielder to score 100 goals in the Premier League. That's a crazy stat, which shows how good he was. If you look at Scholes, Giggs, all of them, Le Tissier was the first midfielder to score 100 goals. But he had no trophies to his name, and he left a lot of memories and a lot of iconic goals. Now, I say the iconic goals because Le Tissier is legendary for his goal scoring ability and the way he scored, the style of them. Nearly all of them were just class and amazing. He would often get Goal of the Month awards, and at times he would have more than one goal up for competition. After retirement, Matt Le Tissier became a long-time analyst for Sky Sports and was part of the iconic Sky Sports Soccer Saturday show alongside Paul Merson, Charlie Nicholas and Phil Thompson, with presenter Jeff Starling. The show became iconic for their chemistry and on-set humour and banter. They became a staple for fans waking up on a Saturday gearing up to watch the day's games. Personally, even for me, it was one of my favourite shows. Having them argue and debate about this week's football topics, it was great to watch, and Le Tissier was a great analyst on there. Almost 10 years he was there, but after the show was put in the bin and Le Tissier was let go from Sky Sports. But this is where Matt Le Tissier's villain arc would begin, because it was around this time Matt Le Tissier became a highly controversial figure online, spewing out many conspiracy theories. Firstly, Le Tissier hated the woke left and he became very anti-establishment. For example, Le Tissier claimed during the Black Lives Matter movement that on Sky Sports he was told during the last minute before going on air to wear the BLM armband, and Le Tissier, with his strong opinions, refused to wear it, and he believes that was one of the reasons why he got fired. Then he became very well known for his highly conspiracy theories regarding coronavirus, as many people are, but Le Tissier was a very vocal voice. He believed that the pandemic was more of a plandemic and the government were lying to keep us in order and make themselves richer. He posted a picture on Twitter comparing wearing masks to the Holocaust. He also said when Christian Eriksen's cardiac arrest happened during Euro 2020, that was due to vaccines, even though it was shown that Eriksen hasn't got the vaccine. Now, the conspiracy theorists love Le Tissier, and he had become one of the free speech ambassadors. But it wasn't just a coronavirus skeptic, no. Matt Le Tissier had now become a full-blown anti-establishment, anti-media conspiracy theorist. In 2022, when the Russia invasion of Ukraine happened, he said that the news was being skewed by the mainstream media to make Russia look worse. In one instance, Russia implied during one of the massacres in Ukraine, the Bucha massacre, where over 1,000 Ukrainian bodies were found in the town of Bucha, and pictures showing Russian forces leaving that town, Le Tissier had implied that this was fake news and it was faked by the media. Now, at that time, it was highly sensitive because of what Ukraine was going through, and it actually caused a lot of outrage. And it even forced Southampton, his beloved club where he spent all his career keeping them in the Premier League, they had to fire him as their official ambassador. Matt Le Tissier would later apologize for that Ukraine-specific tweet because he realized that was wrong to do. But he said his point still stands on media lying. So, you know, what a man. Le Tissier still is loyal to his beliefs, his conspiracy theories, just like he was in his career to the club. He's staying loyal to his inner beliefs of the anti-establishment. So that was just a brief career of Matt Le Tissier, one of the most gifted players ever, one of the most underrated players ever. Many people will speak how good he was, and had he gone to Man United or to a bigger team, he would simply be the best. And how stupendous his goals were, the free kicks, the volleys. And then he became a great analyst for Sky Sports, and then it all went down in flames. He got fired, and then he became a very anti-conspiracy theorist, anti-media, anti-everything really. And now he's on all your favorite right-wing podcasts and shows talking about how the media and government are trying to control us. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.